All right, Donnie. So for this test, I'm going to give you a word, and you're going to pick the picture that best describes it, okay? So for the first one, can you point to habitat? Let's go to the next one. Point to the chair on the girl's left. Point to the picture where a quarter of the circle is black. Point to the picture with the arrow at the abdomen. Point to the picture with a couple eggs. Point to symmetry. How about we look at every picture before we pick one? You want to try again? Point to the picture showing a companion. Point to catastrophic. Let's think about our answer before we pick one. Make sure you're looking at all 4 pictures. Point to the garment. Point to traverse. All right, I think we're going to stop there. You worked really hard. What a bummer. If it did. You did good. That was good acting. Guys, we don't become speech fast. Acting is what we do. Oh, it was still on. Okay, good. I'll just edit that. Hi, Donnie. Okay, so today we're going to talk about opposites. Do you know what an opposite is? Okay, let's do an example just to make sure. What is the opposite of yes? If it's not yes, it's no. Okay, sounds good. We're going to go through a word list and you're going to give me the opposites, okay? All right, what is the opposite of give?
Get.
Get. Well, you're close, but can you come up with a better word?
Take.
Good job. All right, the next one is beneath. What's the opposite of beneath?
Above.
Above, very good. What's the opposite of shallow?
Deep.
Very nice. What's the opposite of bent?
Straight.
What's the opposite of entrance?
Exit.
What's the opposite of friend?
Enemy.
Enemy, good. What's the opposite of receive?
Gave.
Gave. Can you give me a different form of that word?
Give.
Very good. All right, just a few more. You're doing good. What's the opposite of sell?
Steal.
Steal. Let's try another one. What's the opposite of wide?
Long.
Ooh, you're close, but can you come up with a better answer? Better word.
Teeny.
Teeny. All right, the next one, work. It's okay, these are hard.
I don't know.
All right, let's just go to the next one. Victory. The opposite of victory.
Win.
Close. All right. Did you think those were pretty tough?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, we're going to take a break from those and go to a different one, okay?
Mm-hmm.
Good job. Okay, Donnie, now we're going to work on synonyms. I'm going to give you a word and then 4 options, and you're going to tell me which word means the same as the given word. Does that make sense? Okay, so let's start. Whimper. What means the same as whimper? Choke, grab, whine, or cough?
Wine.
The next one is utensil. Tool, foil, pantry, plate.
Tool.
Survey. Picket, fertilize, confess, examine.
Examine.
Plunge. Dive, trial, pattern, swim.
Dive.
Infant. Cradle, adult, baby, children.
Baby.
Tour. Turn, travel, purchase, watch.
Turn.
Evacuate. Abandon, occupy, crumble, penetrate.
Crumble.
Huff. Roof, foot, hair, barn.
I don't know.
That's okay. The next one is raffle, carnival, quilt, lottery, collection.
Collection.
We're going to stop right there because you are working so hard. All right, Donnie, now we're going to work on idioms, okay? So sometimes we put words together in different ways. The words have a special meaning when they are used together. These groups of words are called idioms. I'm going to say a sentence with the last part left out. What is left out is the part of an idiom. You are to finish the sentence by telling me what's been left out. So let's try one really quick, okay? After Kim broke the plate, Mother said, "Don't cry over spilled
Milk.
Yeah, very good. That's right. Don't cry over spilled milk is another way of saying not to worry about things that have already happened. Sound good? All right, so let's try another one. Let me get to our pages quick. Hold on a second. All right, are you ready? When the man picked up the heavy-looking package, he found that it was light as a
Feather.
Carlos got mad at his sister and really gave her a piece of his
Mind.
The kids could hardly wait to grab the gifts Dad had brought for them. But Dad said, "You'll just have to hold your
Horses.
Money always burns a hole in my
Wallet.
Kim had so much to do to get the house ready for the party that she was busy as a
Mom.
Grandmother was pleased that the children bought her some candy. She said, "I've always had a sweet."
I don't know.
It's okay, we'll just go to the next one. Lucy and Jade got to the store before it opened for the sale because they knew that the early bird
Gets the worm.
When Marcus told Dad he had jogged 5 miles, Dad laughed and said, "You're pulling."
A sled.
One page, we're just going to do a couple more. He said, "I'll volunteer for that. That's right up my."
I don't know.
That's okay. Jim was so tired he got home that all he wanted to do was hit the
Sack.
Because he knew his turn was next, he was on pins.
I don't know.
Steve ate something at the carnival that made him sick as a
Patient.
Carla is so shy that she has always been afraid of her own
Jokes.
We played a game at the party to break the
Table.
You are working so hard, so we're going to take a break. Is that okay with you?
Mm-hmm.
All right.
All right, Donnie, so I'm just going to ask you some questions, and we're just going to go through this little booklet and just, I'll ask you some questions or ask you to point to some things, and we'll just see how it goes.
Okay.
All right. So here we see a girl following a dog. Okay. Here we see the girl
Leading the dog.
Good. Okay, Katie was playing with her cat outside. Suddenly, a dog ran up. Katie was afraid they might fight. What did Katie do then? Finish the story with one sentence.
She picked up the cat.
Good. So, make one sentence using 3 words. Girl, store, will.
Girl will store.
Can you try again?
Will girl store?
All right, we'll move on. So finish what I say with more than 1 word. I knew this would happen. I knew this would happen. The weatherman had said that.
It rained.
Here are 2 pictures that go together. Here, the girl fell. Here, the girl started to cry. Tell what happened in one sentence by putting both pictures together.
The girl fell off her bike and cried.
Finish this sentence with more than 1 word. Vanessa likes to drink milk, whereas Michael
Does not like to drink milk.
Good. Finish this sentence with more than 1 word. I don't want to go to the party unless.
I don't know.
That's okay. These 2 pictures tell a story about some birds. In one sentence, connect the 2 pictures and tell a story about the birds.
The birds ate food and then flew away.
Good. In one sentence, tell me where and when the cat sleeps without using the word and.
The cat slept on the chair at night.
Good. I'm going to tell you 3 things. I like to skate. I like to swim. I like to play chess. Now tell me those three things in one sentence using the words like and.
I like to skate and swim and play chess.
Good. These three pictures tell a story. In 2 sentences or less, connect the 3 pictures and tell a story about the boy.
The boy walked into the classroom. Once the boy finished his homework, he left.
Finish the sentence to go with the picture.
Although it was raining, the girl rode her bike home.
The word pretty can go in 2 different places in the following sentence. Listen carefully. The girl has a doll. Add the word pretty in 2 different places in the sentence, but do not add any new words.
The pretty girl has a pretty doll.
I'm going to tell you 2 things. Tracy goes to school. Her school is small. And now tell me those 2 things in one sentence without changing the meaning and without the word and.
Can you repeat that, please?
I'm going to tell you 2 things. Tracy goes to school, and her school is small. Now tell me those 2 things in one sentence without changing the meaning and without using the word and.
Tracy goes to a small school.
Good. Finish what I say with more than one word. Beth said, I am sorry you forgot about the party. I should have reminded you yesterday. Her friend replied, I wish that you.
I wish that you would pour me more tea.
Okay. Continue this story with 2 complete sentences. Lee was watching TV when he heard a loud noise outside.
Troy was watching TV. He heard a loud noise outside.
Just a couple more. I'm going to tell you 3 things. The flowers are pretty. The flowers are in a vase. The vase was on the table. Now tell me those 3 things in one sentence without using the word and.
The pretty flowers in a vase were on the table.
These 4 pictures tell a story about a girl.
See them there?
In 2 sentences or less, connect the 4 pictures to a story about the girl.
I don't know.
That's okay. Right, we'll just end there. Good job. All right, Donnie. I'm going to just ask you some questions, ask you to point to some things, and some of them you'll have to just finish my sentences, okay?
Okay.
All right. Today, I eat my breakfast. Yesterday, I
ate my breakfast.
Good. Matt was excited to catch a fish. Here is the fish that he
caught.
Here, the girl is finishing her juice. here she already has finished it. Good. Here, there are only a few books, but here
There are many books.
these are the players over here on our team. The fans over here are cheering for the players on
The red team.
The woman said, "When I was younger, I wanted to play concert piano." The man said, "If I had possessed the talent, I would."
Be a runner.
Finish the sentence with more than one word. The girl asked Dad to help her with her math, but Dad was going to the store. He said, "You'll have to wait."
Until I come home.
Here is a circle. Here is a circle on the book, but here the circle is
Bigger than the book.
Finish the sentence with only one word. The man had to go to the bank today. He could not go before the game, so he went to the bank
During the game.
Today he runs. Yesterday he already
Running.
Today it is the dog who cannot run. Yesterday it
Can you repeat the question?
Today it is the dog who cannot run. Yesterday it
Was puppy.
We're gonna stop there for now. Good job.
Thanks. Okay.
Are we doing what's the last one?
Grammatically judgment.
Something.
Yeah.
That G word.
Grammaticality judgment. Oh, we're still going.
Okay, so I'm going to read some sentences to you, and I'm going to ask if they are correct or not. If they are, just tell me yes, and if they're not, then I want you to tell me the word that is needed to change them. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Okay. So, the children was home yesterday. Does that sound correct? No? Okay. How would you change it?
The children were home yesterday.
When done frequently, exercise promotes a healthy body. Does that sound right?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. Mom had teach Sam to be truthful. Does that sound right?
It's taught.
Okay, good job. Kelsey and me have been friends for a long time. No.
It's not me, it's I.
Good. Okay. Let's see. Oh, one more. That morning, they sat discussing what to wear to the party. Does that sound right?
No.
No.
I don't think so.
Macaroni and cheese are my favorite dish. news aren't good according to the paper.
Can you repeat that one more time?
The news aren't good according to the paper. Does that sound right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. He couldn't see none of his family at the game.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. All right. We'll stop there. Good work.
All right. Thank you.
All right, here is a picture of people in a library. I will use the word book in a sentence to talk about this picture. The girl is reading a book, or I could say the book is on the table. Here's another picture. Now you make a sentence about this picture using the word reading. You must make your sentence about something in the picture, and you must use the word reading. Look at the picture to help you think of what to say.
The dad is reading a book.
Good. All right. Now here's another picture. Now you must make a sentence using this picture using the word first. You must make your sentence about something in the picture using the word first. Look at the picture to help you think of what to say.
She finished her food first.
Good job. All right, are you ready to do some more?
Yeah.
All right, now look at this picture and make a sentence using the word when.
He got an owie when he fell off his bike.
Good job. Now make a sentence using this picture and the word and.
The dog and the cat play.
Good job. Now look at this picture and make a sentence using the word if.
Ooh, I like football. If he scores, they'll win.
Good job. Now make a sentence using the word before.
She's after him in line.
Now use the sentence using the word because.
The police officer is directing traffic.
Now make a sentence using the word instead.
He wants the robot book instead of the dinosaur book.
Now the word is until.
She wants the bike, but they're closed.
Good working. Okay, now the word is although.
He has a broken arm on a skateboard.
Now the word is unless.
He needs to get his homework done so he can go play baseball.
Now I'm going to say 2 words with each picture. So say a sentence about the picture and use both of the words that I say. You can use the words in any order. So the first 2 words for this picture is if and then.
The bus left him. He's gonna be late.
All right, good job. We're done with the sentences. going to say a sentence. I want you to listen carefully and repeat what I say. Let's try. My sister is in the 6th grade.
My sister is in the 6th grade.
Good job. Listen to another sentence and say exactly what I say. Does Mr. Gomez teach reading?
Does Mr. Gomez teach reading?
Good job. Now let's try some more. Remember to listen carefully and say exactly what I say because I can only say it one time.
Okay.
All right. The boy bought a book for his friend who likes short stories.
The boy bought a book for his friend who likes short stories.
The computers and printers were donated by the school board.
The computers and printers were donated by the school board.
If the rain doesn't stop before noon, the field trip will have to be canceled.
If the rain doesn't stop before noon, the field trip will have to be canceled.
Good job. The student who won the award at the art show was very excited.
The student who won the award at the art show was excited.
The class that sells the most tickets to the dance will win a prize.
The class that sells the most tickets will win the prize.
After the students had finished the book, the teacher asked them to write a report.
After the students had finished the book, the teacher asked them to write a report. Did I get it right?
Good job.
Okay.
If we had gone straight home after the game, we would not have missed our curfew.
If we would have gone home straight after the game, we would not have missed our curfew.
Good work. When the students finished studying, they decided to get something to eat before going home.
When they finished studying, they got something to eat before they got home.
Coach gave the trophy to the team that won the track meet on Saturday.
Coach gave the trophy to the winning team at the meet on Saturday. These are hard.
You're doing good. Keep trying. Okay. The students collected and repaired the toys and sold them at the fair.
The students collected the toys and sold them at the fair.
Good work. We're going to be done with those for now.
Okay.
Before they walked across the stage for graduation, the students lined up in alphabetical order.
Oh, the students lined up during graduation.
Before the students were dismissed for lunch, they were told by the teacher to turn in their assignments.
The students went to lunch and finished their homework.
The math teacher sorted, labeled, boxed, and delivered the calculators.
The math teacher did stuff to the calculators.
Right. In some countries, the minimum age for obtaining a driver's license is 18 years, considerably older than in this country.
Other countries have higher driver's license ages.
Good job. We're all done with those.
All right, so we've previously done the trial one, so we're ready to get started. This one is called the talent show auditions. Missy's throat was dry and her heart was pounding.
She would soon have to tackle the ordeal of getting on stage to audition for the school talent show. A boy who juggled had gotten first. Now 2 older girls were dancing, and then it would be her turn. She didn't want to forget any words or be off key, or she would have another reason to feel humiliated, like she did when she dropped her tray in the cafeteria. Missy took a deep breath and stepped onto the stage. After the audition was over, Missy ran home to tell her family the good news. What did the older 2 girls do at the audition?
They were dancing.
Who performed first?
The boy that juggled.
How do we know that Missy planned to sing for the talent show?
She didn't want to be off key.
And what would happen if Missy forgot the words to her song when she auditioned?
She would have been very embarrassed.
What do you think Missy told her family?
She got first.
All right, so the next one is about hurricanes. The Atlantic hurricane season is considered to be June 1st to November 30th. These severe storms rotate in a counterclockwise direction around a calm, low-pressure center called the eye and travel westward across the ocean. A hurricane starts as a low-pressure zone, builds into a tropical depression, and then becomes a tropical storm. Hurricanes have wind speeds from 74 miles per hour to greater than 155 miles per hour. Weather forecasters watch a hurricane's progression over time and predict its path. If a hurricane heads for a populated area, then weather forecasters can warn people to evacuate. Before a hurricane becomes strong enough to be called a tropical storm, how is it described?
Tropical depression.
And what is an example of a populated area as the term is used in this story?
Kind of like my hometown.
What do you think would happen if weather forecasters did not predict the path of a hurricane?
People would probably get hurt.
Why would a spring vacation not likely be affected by an Atlantic hurricane?
Hurricanes happen in the summer.
When is the busy season for a hurricane forecaster?
During the summer.
All right, this one's called daydreaming. Kiki sat at her desk staring out the window as Mr. Johnson read the list of students whose projects had placed in the local art show. Kiki forgot all about class as she spied 2 birds building a nest in the tall oak outside. Wow, I wonder what it's like to fly like a bird, thought Kiki. If I were a bird, I would fly right out of this classroom and soar over the treetops. Suddenly, Kiki heard Mr. Johnson call her name. Kiki was embarrassed as she told Mr. Johnson that she hadn't been listening. Mr. Johnson looked over his glasses at her, cleared his throat, and said, "Please talk with me after class today, Kiki." Why would "please pay attention" be a good title for this story?
Kiki wasn't paying attention.
What subject does Mr. Johnson teach?
Art.
What was Mr. Johnson talking about before he called Kiki's name?
The kids in the art show.
What was Kiki thinking about when Mr. Johnson called her name?
She was watching the birds in the tree.
All right. We have one more. This one's called Musical Trip. Mr. Cooper's students were very, very excited. He just announced Smithson's High School's marching band qualified for the state competition. Since the competition was far away, Mr. Cooper stressed that in order to attend, band members must earn money for this trip. The travel costs would include chartering buses, meals, and lodging. Mr. Cooper told his students to prepare for the competition. Not only would they be practicing before and after school, but they would also need to plan and participate in fundraising activities. "We want to raise enough money so that everyone in the band can go," he said encouragingly. What was the marching band going to do?
Go on a trip.
Name the 2 things the marching band members had to do before they could go to the band competition.
They had to get money and be really good.
Who is Mr. Cooper?
One of the kids' dads.
Name the 2 things the travel costs include.
The bus and the hotel.
What do you think will happen if the students don't think of some fundraising activities?
They probably won't get to go.
Why are the band members excited?
because they're going to get a go.
All right, and that is it. I'm going to read you some problems to figure out. Each problem has 2 correct answers. Let's do one to see if you can tell me the 2 correct answers. A man is bigger than a house, button, spoon, or plane. There's 2 of them.
Button and spoon.
Listen carefully. Now listen to this question and the possible answers. Remember, you must tell me the 2 answers that are correct. Jan saw Pedro. Dwayne saw Francis. Who was seen? Jan, Dwayne, Pedro, or Francis?
Dwayne.
Okay, there's one more.
Francis.
Listen carefully to the problem again. 2 of the choices are correct. Jan saw Pedro. Dwayne saw Francis. Who was seen?
Pedro and Francis.
Good. All right, now let's do some more problems. Remember to tell me the 2 correct answers. If you need me to, I can repeat each one once. An hour is longer than a minute, day, second, or morning.
Minute and second.
Okay. Teenagers are younger than infants, adults, grandparents, and children.
Grandparents and adults.
The ball rolled to the left of the goal. The ball was next to the goal, on the left side of the goal, in the goal, and behind the goal.
In the goal and behind the goal.
Okay, listen to it carefully. The ball rolled to the left of the goal. The ball was next to the goal, on the left side of the goal, in the goal, and behind the goal.
On the left side of the goal.
Okay, there's one more.
Next to the goal.
In the alphabet, G comes between L and Z, after C, before M, and between A and E.
After C, but before M.
In any month, the 17th comes between the 11th and the 16th, before the 16th, between the 13th and 19th, and after the 11th.
C and D.
Okay, what are they?
Between the 13th and 19th and after the 11th.
The teacher said more people in the class got C's than A's, but most people got B's. There were more C's than A's, more A's than B's, more B's than C's, or 6 C's.
More C's than A's and more B's than C's.
Dan is taller than Jeff, and Lee is taller than both of them. Dan is taller than Lee, shorter than Lee, not the tallest, and not the shortest.
Not the shortest, but the tallest.
Okay, listen to it carefully. Dan is taller than Jeff, and Lee is taller than both of them. Dan is taller than Lee, shorter than Lee, the tallest, not the shortest.
Taller than Lee, the tallest.
Wanda saw Joe, but not Ricardo or Sandy. They saw her, though. Who was seen? Wanda, Ricardo, Sandy, or Joe?
Joe,
and
Sandy.
okay, listen to me one more time. Wanda saw Joe, but not Ricardo or Sandy. They saw her, though. Who was seen? Wanda, Ricardo, Sandy, and Joe.
Joe and Wanda.
The dog sat under the table next to the cat. The food was in a dish on the table. The food was next to the dog, above the cat, under the table, on the table.
Next to the dog, under the table.
Okay, listen to me carefully. The dog sat under the table next to the cat. The food was in a dish on the table. The food was next to the dog, above the cat, under the table, or on the table.
Above the cat, on the table.
The librarian said, "The library has fewer books on history than on science, but it has the most books on art. There are more books on science than art, fewer books on history than art. The most books on science, more books on art than science."
More books on art than science, and fewer books on history than art.
The pencil was in the box. The box was in the bag next to the locker. The pencil was in the locker, in the bag, next to the locker, beside the box.
In the bag next to the locker.
The chart lists the countries in alphabetical order. Norway comes between South Africa and Taiwan, after Turkey, before South Africa, and after Italy.
Repeat.
You have to give me two answers before you repeat.
After Italy. After Turkey.
Okay, listen to me carefully. The chart lists the countries in alphabetical order. Norway becomes between South Africa and Taiwan, after Turkey, before South Africa, and after Italy.
Before South Africa, after Italy.
Jeff said, "Math is first, followed by science, and then lunch. Math is after science, before lunch, between science and lunch, first."
First, after science.
Okay, listen to me carefully. Jeff said, "Math is first, followed by science, and then lunch. Math is after science, before lunch, between science and lunch, first."
First, after science.
A 3:15 is exactly 3:15, after 3:25, before 3:35, the same as 3:45.
After 3:25, but the same as 3:45.
A 3:15 is exactly 3:15, after 3:25, before 3:35, the same as 3:45.
The same as 3:45, but after 3:25.
Carlos chose Luis when Dan was chosen by James. Who was chosen? Carlos, Luis, James, Dan.
James and Luis.
Carlos chose Luis, and Dan was chosen by James. Who was chosen? Carlos, Luis, James, or Dan?
Dan.
And?
Maybe James?
Marie is first in line with Angie and Ken standing behind her. Louise squeezed between Angie and Den. Louise is third in line, second in line, after Marie, or before Marie?
After Marie, but before Marie?
Okay, Marie is first in line with Angie and Ken standing behind her. Louise squeezed between Angie and Ken. Louise is third in line, second in line, after Marie, or before Marie?
before Marie, but second in line.
All right, we're going to stop there.